I got all receipts. This your girl is C. I be dropping this heat. I've been studying astrology since I was 19. When you get a reading from me, I'ma make it believe. So subscribe to my channel and I bet you won't leave. Hey.
All right, you guys. What's up out there to all my ZodiacTea sippers? I just wanted to do a little bit of digging in between some differences in between Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. Because I felt like if they would have stayed alive, they would have made a very, very deep other on our race as far as, being of melanated persuasion. Okay? All right, you guys. So let's sip this tea. All right, let's see. Got my board. I'm going to get it, I think. Hope this camera is focused. You guys can see. All right, so basically we have Malcolm. His birthday is May 19th, 1925, okay? Making his sun in Taurus, moon in Aries, Mercury in Taurus, Venus in Gemini, Mars in Cancer, okay? His life path is a 5, and his birthday number is 1. 15th, 1929, Sun Capricorn, Moon Pisces, Mercury Aquarius, Venus Pisces, Mars Gemini, life path of a 1, and his birthday number is 6. The birthday numbers are the numbers that's the date that you were born on, and you add it side by side. So for Malcolm is 1 plus 9 is 10, and then 1 plus 0 is 1. So that's his birthday number. And for Martin is 15, so 1 plus 5 is 6. That's how you get your birthday numbers, okay? They have so many similarities, okay? But they have looked at things in a different perspective, right? Because they have 5s, 1s, and 2s, and 9s in their birthday. Both alike, okay? Both of their sun signs are earthy, okay? We got Malcolm, he's a Taurus. We got Mark, okay? Then let's look a little bit more at Malcolm. The reason why he took that aggressive warrior-like approach to of the civil rights movement or what have you. Look at that moon. It's in Aries. So we're going to get that fiery, let's go to war and let's help our people right now type of perspective. Not being too volatile, but definitely not turning the other cheek as Martin was doing, because his moon is in Pisces. So he was looking for the more sympathetic, the more compassionate, emotional approach that would cause, less violence and let's be one, let's be at peace and harmony, right? Because he has so much of Pisces energy. Then to double back, his Venus is in Pisces. So actually his Venus is the pleasure factor. He enjoys and love and magnetize, and everything is fulfilled when everything is fair and everything is compassionate and everything is done in a peace-like manner versus we got an additional moody volatileness, because Cancer can get really moody and really volatile as well. So we got that pro-Black Panther going on with Malcolm X. He like, man, fuck what you talking about, Martin. For real, like, you going to send us back. Let's get together. I think the government must have hired somebody in astrology, because they did not, these two, they have very different life paths. They was going to run cross paths because Malcolm X used to talk bad about Martin's approach all throughout his life. They only met a few times, and they was going to meet again. And by Martin doing it his way, and a lot of people was against the violence, and then Malcolm, people was against the peace. Just imagine if Malcolm and Martin would have got together and orchestrated and ran it. We would have had that muscle with Malcolm and that. Also, when you think about it, Martin's mindset was so advanced. His Mercury is in Aquarius. Those people think way far into the future, like they be on a whole nother level thinking wise, and then Malcolm he thinking Taurus, like bulldoze these people. Let's put our, we seeing red, nigga, like this far out. You talking about you got a dream and all that, but we in reality. Taurus is way earthy, like in the air, in the clouds, in the future. And Malcolm was right here in this soil, in this reality with this Taurus, like, nah. But I find we would have been to the promised land, okay? And walked around that bitch a million times. But was together Bam. But anyway, let's go back and still talk about the things that they do have in common. Okay. Both of them have number one presence. Martin life pad is the one, and then Malcolm birthday number is the one. That represents leadership, okay, and the ability to lead. And they did. They had a massive following on both ends, okay. But Malcolm did a lot more traveling. Martin did his traveling too, but Malcolm was all about the radical changes, because it's radical changes or whatever throughout their lives, and they just ready for it. They can be ready for war, because like as we were saying, Malcolm does have his moon in Aries, okay. Now both of them have a lot of similarities as far as their numbers, the 5s, the 1s, the 9s, and the 2, okay. They both had politically active father, but it was a difference in between Martin's upbringing as well. So that just enhances that Pisces energy Martin had, because in his household, his father was more on that peace route. He was raised in a peaceful, household. But the way Malcolm grew up, he already had an Aries moon, like on emotions with anything. He grew up in a more militant lifestyle, or whatever the case may be, poverty, lots of violence, and his father had died, and a lot of people in Malcolm X's family feel like white people killed him, white nationalists, or whatever the case may be. So their little upbringing was slightly different. Okay, so also to add, Malcolm, both of these cards was royal cards. Malcolm had the King of Clubs and the Four Hearts. That was his life card. So the King is the master of intelligence. So this is a very smart man. Now Martin is smart as well. He graduated college at an early age. I think he got out of high school. I forgot what age that was, but I know it was very early on. Now we got Martin. He is a queen of diamonds. So that Benjamin soft approach that he had during his doggone civil rights movement time or whatever. So. And also his other card is the 7 of Clubs. That's like getting rid of negative thinking, going along with positive thinking. So Martin was all of his birth chart and his approach, honey. Like he definitely had that couple with that Pisces energy going on. Queen of Diamonds can be very philanthropic. Okay, and then he got the 7 of Clubs. Let's do this thing in a positive way. Whereas we got the King of Intelligence, like, no, that's a dumb move. And very passionate when he mad, because he have Mars in Cancer. So they philosophies were different. But I think, and I feel like they would have lived on, they would have like I said, we would have been to the promised land. Anyway, we're gonna also look at their numbers, their birth cards, just to give you a little. Gonna pull out their birth. Let's look at the similarities with that. You guys, this is crazy. Same numbers. May 19, 1925. Martin was born 1529. Okay. So, and both of them numbers are going in the same. It's just slightly more enhanced. Okay. So let me explain. Malcolm got 2 1s, 1 2, 2 5s, and 2 9s. Okay. So Malcolm, with his 2 1s, was very, very verbally aggressive. He ain't had time for it. And he was straight to the point. And then he got the Aries moon, his emotional state, right? Okay, cool. When you have 2 1s, you can see both sides of it. Malcolm also have just 1 2. So 1 2 is basically, you can be sensitive and very intuitive. 2 5s, a lot of domestic stuff going on in the family that he was directly involved in, or his immediate family, the family that he lived with, was very hostile, like, and coming up in a lot of domestic events going on in his household, because he had double the 5. Now Martin had the same thing going on, but Malcolm just had a little bit more. Like I said, when he was little, he had his father dying at the hands of white people already. So Martin Luther King, he had his house thrown on fire and all that too. So they both had 5s, but Malcolm had a heart. He had that double 5 influence. Check out the 9s. They both got 2 9s. So basically, when you have 2 9s, that means you are a deep thinker. Like the surface. You're trying to get deep down in the waters and absorb all the information that you can. They both had that in common. Now, with the King, he didn't have 2 5s, but he had 3 1s. Okay, so between that, like, we already told y'all the difference between the 5. So we both had domestic issues, but Malcolm's was the hands because of the double 5. Now, we already talked about the 2 1s with Malcolm because he's very, really assertive. But when you have 3 1s, it's a slight difference. This person can talk a lot. Okay, they makes them a chatterbox when they have 3 ones. And also, if they're not quite the chatterbox, they can be kind of quiet. But when you have 3 ones, your thoughts flow so easily when you're writing. That is very beautiful to have. Like, it just comes like no other. You can write music, poem, poetry, and that's probably why Martin Luther King's speeches was so elaborate and so futuristic, and that Aquarius Mercury energy going on as well. Okay, so both of them had 1, 2. Like I said, that just means you're sensitive and intuitive, and that's how you break their numbers. Okay, now the Chinese zodiac. Okay, so Malcolm was an ox, so it's like he was seeing red. He was ready to charge too. He do have a lot of Aries energy with the ox, and Martin Luther King was a dragon, a earth dragon. So he was so chill. Like, yes, he was a powerful man by being that dragon or whatever with the dragon energy, but it was very earthy, very toned, and very compassionate with his Pisces energy. And then we add in the fact that he was an earth dragon. Okay, so there you have it, you guys. These guys, Malcolm X was, and then we got that peaceful MLK, you feel me, with that Pisces energy. That should have blended very well. I think the government knew exactly what they was doing when they both went out. You feel me? So anyway, when you add up the birthdays, you get relationship energy that can never be changed. So while this is not a romance, it shows that would have been going on in those meetings. They would have led us to the promised land quickly, because we have Queen of Hearts. Queen of Hearts, as far as friendship and business-wise, means compassion. It would have been compassion, and whatever they would have came up with, it would have been very motherly. And the Queen of Hearts is all about universal love as well, not just in your household, but expanding out. Like I said, they already had a massive following on both ends, so people would have naturally been drawn to both of them together as leaders. Like, they would have felt like that's mama, that's everything, even though there's 2 male figures. But it would have been that they could have had a massive following together or whatever on a universal level, okay? The 3 of Spades indicated they would have been very creative in getting this plan done. The only bad thing, like I said, with the 3 of Spades, they would have had different opposing views, but they would have got together with that Queen of Hearts and mashed out their little differences, and when they would have came together, and the 3 of Spades would have enabled that power for them to do so full force and very artistic, okay, with that 3 of Spades, and very powerful by the ad. Then bam, they also had the 7 of Spades going in this union as well. That is a very spiritual number. A lot of massive spiritual knowledge would have been on the table dealing with them 2 together, okay? But the bad side, they always had work and health issues preventing them from ever like really meeting up. Like, these 2 could have been met up or whatever. Like I said, they didn't even meet a couple of times. There was a lot of schedule differences in opinion, and the 7 is just health and work problems. Like, they couldn't make each other. They was on different routes or whatever the case may be, but it was gonna come together, and that was the universal plan, I believe, that was by the government. And last but not least, we have the Jack of Clubs. Jack of Clubs is all about wordplay. These concocted a plan whether they could have misled the white people into just giving us full revolution, because Jack of Clubs is the man of wordplay. They would have articulated their words, and they would have articulated their plan in style and pizzazz with the Jack of Clubs. Things together and knowledge, okay? So they had some spirituality and unionship and mothership going on. Like I said, you guys, it would have been a very powerful move if they would have joined together really quickly versus them being, popped off. Like, I think that was a plan from the government. But anyway, that was the tea on MLK and Malcolm X. Not to go too deep, just to give people an insight that your birthday is very vital. Your birth code to life and the energies that you can bring when you are part. All right, you guys. So that was the little slight tea, a little teacup today on Malcolm and your boy Martin. Deuces. Sip, share, and subscribe.